So I hear they're finally getting rid of Section 8 for a lot of people who don't need it. And I think that's good. I mean, the time of living on the government dole is over. To be honest with you, if you're an able-bodied person who can work, why not get your ass up and go and get a job? Unless you're elderly, disabled, or sick, come on. We got some of us out here, we working 2, 3 jobs, and you can't even take one. So let this be a lesson to y'all. All y'all do lay around and wait for the government to pay y'all bills. It's coming to an end. And I hope you were preparing, which a lot of you wasn't. Because instead of standing on those sneaker lines, trying to get the newest pair of Jordans, you should have been standing in line for a job. The only people I really feel sorry for is the landlords, because they were used to getting that check every first of the month. And now, people are gonna have to grind to get that check. But yeah, if it is ending, I'm happy, because I'm tired of paying room and board for people who turn around and turn their back on this country and hate this country. Meanwhile, we're subsidizing you. Bonnet crew, you know who I'm talking about. And others. Yes, we got some Caucasians also in the trailers. We talking about you too. Since black folk don't like to be talked about alone, they gotta, you gotta point out everybody. But yeah, it's time for you to put something in the pot if you want something out of it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, hey, honesty is honesty. He said like three things in there that I see a lot of times, right? First, he mentioned lay around. And we started flagging it now because a lot of times when we click on some of these self-filmed TikToks, what are people doing? They're laying in the bed. Then he said bonnet crew, right? Which also kind of goes with them laying in the bed because then what do they have on their head? A lot of times it is a bonnet, right? And then of course, I mean, getting a job should go without saying. I mean, it's really just a contribution to the whole instead of the whole contributing to the minority, right? It just doesn't make sense and it's not sustainable. And especially when the minority is starting to become the majority because they're incentivized to. Ultimately, these programs are incentivizing people to make self-inflicted decisions. And it's not just, I should stop saying self-inflicted decisions because it doesn't just inflict themselves. It inflicts all of us, right? So actually, we got to come up with a new word for it because it's self-inflicted in that you did it to yourself. But then what it also comes down to is it ends up harming people who are innocent in the matter and don't have anything to do with it. So yes, there has to start being some form of accountability.
It's cracking TikTok. This message is to all family and friends that might be in jeopardy of losing your Section 8 voucher. Hey man, I feel your pain. Trust me. I understand. I feel your pain. And I'm grieving with you. And I want y'all to know this with all love. If you ever find yourself on the street, gonna get kicked out on the street, I want y'all to understand this. Don't call me at all. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Listen to me. I couldn't call you motherfuckers to piss on me if I was on fire. So listen here, up close. I love you, but from a distance. You understand me?
Oh wow. I mean, hey, some things I feel can go without saying, but it's honest, it's blunt, and it's real, and it's definitely bold. But I get where he's coming from, right? Because a lot of times, as we've seen it, as we've reviewed it, you see there's a lot of people on here who are real braggadocious, who are very emboldened, as well as they are on their high horse with about having this government assistance. And see, when you're in that state, And when you start to have that type of ego that wasn't deserved and isn't warranted, what usually starts to happen? You start ishing on people, to censor myself. You start ishing on people, right? Just like they're coming online, they're ishing on everybody, bragging, showing their carts, feeling entitled. But then guess what? When something comes down, they're not going to have the integrity and the pride to say, I can't go to that person. I didn't do them right. I didn't treat them right. I'm going to have to figure this out for myself. No, I guarantee it's going to be a lot of people shamelessly trying to double back and spin the block and trying to get some help, even though they might have treated the person poorly who they're trying to get help from. And that's the lack of character that a lot of times I harp on. The lack of character. Because if I know that I've done somebody wrong, unwarranted, undeserved, then I'm definitely not going to have the gall to then try to go back to that person and then just try to ask for a handout or ask for help or even expect it. So, you know, this can reveal itself in a plethora of ways, and we're going to get into another reaction. But listen, this doesn't just have to come down to family. This can come down to because I'm going to say fellas because I rarely see men on government assistance. But this could even come down to maybe a woman you might have dated who then tries to come back after the assistance is gone. Right? Like I said, it doesn't just have to come down to family. This can come down to relationships where they may try to come back and now all of a sudden, back then they didn't want you. Now government assistance is hot, so they back all on you. So you got to be aware of that as well. Because if somebody shows you who they are, you got to believe them. And, you got to trust your instincts ultimately.
Off Section 8, she got 6 kids and she has to pay $1,100 in a day. I guess she ain't worked a job in like 13 years and she said she's not going to go work a job, but she has 6 kids and she was on Section 8 and her landlord came and told her, like, hey, by the first, you need to come up with $1,100 because they're no longer covering your Section 8. $1,100 by the next day is insane. But also saying that you will never go back to work again is even more crazy because at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do for my family. I feel like it gets to a point. I feel like at that point you're kind of abusing the whole purpose of Section 8. I feel like it's a temporary
Kinda abusing? Oh no, you're indefinitely abusing it.
thing, not a permanent thing. And the fact that she was on there for 13 years is just like, okay. Granted, 6
13 years. The reason that caught my ear is because she mentioned that basically giving somebody a day's notice that they got to come up with $1,100 is insane. Let me tell you something, man. Having free rent for 13 years and not having $1,100 to me is insane. But hey, who am I?
kids is a lot. But within those 13 years, there should have been some type of plan or some type of end game to like getting your life back on track. You know what I mean? I don't want to judge anybody's situation because I know things happen, stuff happens, but 13 years and then to turn around and say, I'm not going to ever work a job is like, okay. Because I don't even have kids and I can't get on Section 8 and I can't get food stamps and I can't get all of these assistance things, but I work every single day, day in and day out. So it's just kind of like to just see somebody get on this app and be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to ever work. Like, it's kind of a slap in the face.
Oh, it's definitely a slap in the face. Because what even entitles you to feel like you have that option not to work? Do you come from a family of royalty? Like, what in your life gave you that perspective that you're above work? We have to start coming at the root cause because there's got to be something mental within somebody to where they think that they're above work. Um, it goes past laziness at a certain point, and I feel like a lot of us do kind of come from royalty, governmental assistance royalty. There are people who have been on the system for, you know, a few generations now. They've seen it and they're well versed in it and they feel entitled to it. Because think about how many people get on here and complain and say, it's unfair. My mom, my grandma was on government assistance for decades, but now we only have 2 years. So if you feel like that's not fair, then that makes me think and believe that you felt entitled to the fact that you were going to get it for decades. You felt entitled to have it for decades and basically do nothing. And that's ultimately what she's saying. She's, you know, the whoever this woman was referring to is basically saying, no, that's not fair. I'm not going to work. I don't work. That's not my legacy. You know, that's not what I've observed in my family. We don't work. We just extract. And that's coming to an end. So I get it. You wasn't raised like that, but you definitely gonna have to do something. Otherwise, like I say, homelessness has always been a thing. You know, we've always seen people who are homeless and, you know, kept it pushing, right? So if you're okay with being in that situation, then don't work. But understand that at that point, then we don't have to feel sorry for you because that was the choice that you decided to make. Let's leave it there. Like the video. Also subscribe if you want to join the Limitless Legion. Cash app link below if you want to buy your boy iced coffee and tip the channel. And also feel free to join the Patreon where I have self-improvement content. Until then, I'll catch you in the next video.